Hey folks, this is for September 30th. The focus for today is contemporary issues in the Western Hemisphere, focused on political, economic, and social perspectives. Be honest, who has no idea what the word contemporary means? It's all good. Usually, if a word comes up that I don't understand, I just simply Google it. I encourage you guys to do the same. So, current event is probably the way that I would think of it. So living or occurring at the same time, belonging to or occurring in the present. So those are a couple of buzzwords and a couple of definitions to go with it. Before I can even get into today, though, you guys, I'd like to talk about your progress as sixth grade students in my social studies classes. I'm privileged to teach two classes. And when I say privileged, I don't say that lightly simply because given the current circumstances of how high the expectation has been set for you to perform, as well as the level of problem solving that a lot of you have had to do alone. Some of you are only online, and some of you are only in class with me once a week. I wish more than anything that I could share this message with you in person, but at the very least, I'm hoping that those of you who are online will hear it. Of my two classes, I'm having a very difficult time right now, folks, with determining which class is doing better. And that is because the majority of each class community is being accountable and dedicated to completing their assignments, to following directions, to turning work in on time. My class communities as a whole for both my fifth and seventh period classes. The accountability, the commitment, the awareness, the integrity, the, the empathy, I'm seeing that from pretty much all of you. I wish I could say that this was all of you, because unfortunately there's a few of you that I really hope you can step it up. But the majority of my class communities, you guys with the last week really stepped up and improved. There's a few of you, though, that when you look on Infinite Campus and check your grades, you're going to see that you're still missing your map. And that's going to be the difference between failing and passing right now, because that's a 30-point assignment. So if you're wondering why you're failing and how you can get your grade up, that's the specific assignment that you're most likely missing. That honestly is the difference between an A and an F for a lot of you. 30 points is a lot right now, guys. Just know how grateful I am and how proud I am of what you guys are giving me and what I know you're going to continue to give me. Remember, this is ultimately for your benefit, to hopefully give you something to celebrate and also to possibly relieve some stress. I also want to celebrate a ton of you who are reaching out for help. Whether you are a hybrid student and your class is not in person, you're still checking in, or you are an online student and you're checking in every day that you're scheduled for this class, just simply because you want to make sure that you are aware and understand what the task is. So again, keep up the good work. Now, with that being said, learning goal for today is that we can study and explain contemporary issues within the Western Hemisphere with vivid details so that we may better be able to describe the connections that issues share with major categories of focus. And when I say vivid details, that simply is you being able to describe what the main idea of your source or what the main purpose of the story is with enough detail so that you have the confidence in what you are sharing and speaking and communicating with the people around you. As per usual, the Google Meet will be opened. I am actually scheduling meet times today. For fifth period, it is around 10 a.m., and seventh period is around 2 p.m. I don't want to say that this is required for you to get your attendance. I'd like you to complete the attendance form at the bottom of this post, but I would like you to show up because that's when we're going to discuss the things that we found with all of our articles that we go through today. So you showing up is going to be you having a part in our class discussion as well as getting things clarified. So let's shoot for fifth period at 10 a.m. and seventh period at 2 p.m. The attendance is down below. Please let me know if you're having difficulties. those of you that have been submitting the attendance form and still getting marked absent, I am truly not trying to make your lives miserable. And I want to apologize if the system is glitching and it's just not getting credited to you. For item number 2, on your warm-up sheet, please, please, please write this down. Make sure you include the date, but I'd like you to write down everything that you know about the news. Please be sure to restate, answer, and prove. For today, this is also on one of the slides. This is on slide 15. You don't need to go to this. You just simply need to make sure you do the warm-up. For item number 3, please transfer the notes on slides 16 through 20 onto the notes document that you dropped into the folder last week. Please remember the date. So slides 16 through 20 of this slideshow that you all have access to. Ongoing, I will continue to drop slides in here to go with our current level of learning, so please make sure you're checking here regularly. And then I think my classes in person will watch this together, but every single one of you then needs to do agenda item number 4, the U.S.-Cuba relationship history. If maybe there's something you already know about it, this timeline that I have included, and I believe this is on slides 20 to 21, but I'd like you guys to keep these pieces in mind. This extra credit, if you can look at this right here, do not do this until you have completed everything else. So extra credit doesn't even get considered until you have completed the actual assignment. The worksheet that I speak of in item number 4, that is going to be what agenda item number 5 is. You will choose 2 articles of the 5, and then you will complete the note catcher. If you get done with the note catcher, meaning you have completed 2 articles successfully, and you are looking for evidence of political, economic, and social, you will then be able to have the opportunity to do that timeline, extra credit, should you choose it. Or you may work on other work that you're missing for this class. Agenda item number 4, and this is a lot of what we will probably revisit when we class meet, but this part right here is kind of our example that we're going to go through together because there's so much political, economic, and social perspectives within this history. The U.S. and Cuba relationship has gone through many negatives. In about 2016, there was an actual positive that happened. Unfortunately, it has since returned back to negative. There's a lot of politics that goes back to it, and there's a lot of reasons around national security why U.S.-Cuba relations have always been a little bit strained. Both the United States and Cuba have had their roles in this. While you guys are going through the work for today, I'd like you to revisit this agenda because this has all of the expectations for the day. But then please pay attention to the specific slides because these are going to have specific vocab words and notes that I want you to transfer in. There's some good photos to go along with it. And then there's also going to be a few tutorials along with it as well. And then this closure piece, hopefully, if we're wrapping up with our class meet, hopefully we can do this as a reflection. Don't worry as much about this. If you have the opportunity to write it down and reflect, for me, that's always more thorough for me. As far as whenever I'm reflecting, I write it down. But if you just reflect to yourself and you don't write it down, that's satisfactory too. But the whole idea, start thinking from these 3 perspectives, or some teachers refer to them as lenses, but these are current issues within the Western Hemisphere. And given what we've been learning about physical geography, pretty much all of the articles are going to have something connected to the environment as well. I know that I've said a lot, so revisit this, and if you have any questions, you may check into the meet early. You may check into the meet early to get your questions answered, but at 10 a.m. for 5th period and then 2 p.m. for 7th period, because that'll be the majority of class gone. And by that point, hopefully you guys are armed with some facts about these different perspectives. and we'll be able to have some good discussion around it. That's my hope for today. Please remember to submit when you're done and have fun with it. Thank you again for doing what you're doing. Keep it up, guys.